Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 449. I'm Phil Graham, and today I'm going to share the first thing that I fix in at least 90% of the ad accounts that I see. So when advertisers are having issues, so often they are misdiagnosing their ad problems. You know, I've reviewed thousands of ad accounts over many years, and I'm telling you, these patterns repeat themselves over and over. And so this one thing that I look at first, a lot of times makes a huge difference. Now, it's not a magic button. It's not hype. It's just a strategic priority that can move the ball forward. And it could be very important when it comes to your ads. So this should be a great episode. I'm going to try and keep it really short and full of value. Super glad you guys are here. I cannot believe you guys, it's December 16th. There's only one more episode before Christmas. That is crazy. I've got you covered though. Right at the end of the year and into the new year, I'm going to have some episodes on advertising in 2026 and some things that you should or could be doing differently in the new year. So make sure you guys check that out in a few weeks. And also, if you're looking for any help with your ads, whether it's one-on-one coaching or you want somebody to run them for you, just go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital, and I would love to connect with you. So let's jump right in, you guys, and let's talk about the problem. There are so many advertisers that are having issues with performance and issues with their accounts. And a lot of times they try and fix the symptoms instead of the cause. They might tweak the targeting or the budgets. And sometimes those actually could be the cause as well, but a lot of times it may not be. And a lot of the common symptoms can be rising CPAs, so cost per action, cost per lead, cost per sale, things like that. It could be rising CPMs. It could be inconsistent results, or maybe you're scaling stalled or it's not working, or maybe your ads just overall are not working. Those all could be symptoms of one thing potentially, or it could be a series of things that is going wrong. So I won't leave you in suspense any longer, other than to say this one thing that I find like 90% of the time has issues may be the one thing that could fix it for you, or it may not. Like I said, there's no magic buttons. There's so many variables and so many things that you need to work on for good ads. But I will say, if you had a gun to my head and I could only focus on one thing and that was it, this is the one I would focus on besides the obvious of having a great product or service. And the first thing I go to look at and to fix is the messaging in your ads, in your creatives. And so often I see ads that are not aligned with your offer or your landing page or your audience. And I see so many issues with the creatives that it could just ruin everything, even if everything else was perfect. So I thought I'd share some things I look at when I'm looking at the ads to determine that. I've got a couple different things. I actually have like 50, but I'm going to share some of the most important ones just to make this episode short. Number one, relevance. Does the creative that you're using, and when I say creative, I mean the video or the image as well as the ad copy. Does the creative communicate a specific problem or desire, or both, of your audience? Secondly, when it comes to relevance, does it feel native to the platform? Does it look like an ad? Does it look like a billboard? Or could it almost look like a post and look really native to that platform? And then the third thing with relevance is the hook. Is there a hook, and is it good? And is it in the first 1 to 2 seconds of your video, and also in the first words of your headline and your ad copy? Most of the time, the hook is either not there, or it's horrible, or it's self-serving. And many times the ad doesn't speak to a specific problem or desire of your clients or customers. Or if it does it like way down in the ad. It doesn't start with that. That can be a big issue. Another thing that I like to look at is how clear is the ad. So sometimes I'll see these ads and you can't really tell what it's for until you read the whole thing. And it's not like they're even given value. It's just a bunch of words on a screen. It's not clear. They bury whatever the offer is. At least I wouldn't recommend doing that, but at least if you're going to do that, give value on the way to the offer. But you should make it clear, focused, and simple. You want to ask yourself this question. If a stranger was looking at your ad, would they be able to know exactly what it was about and who it was for within 3 seconds? If the answer is no, you're probably going to have an issue. And then the third part that I really like to look at is really just the visuals of the ad. How does it look? A lot of times when I see ads that have a lot of just stock looking images, they don't do that well. You've got to have images and videos that don't look like everything else. It's got to stand out. So you don't want stock photos as much as you can help it anyway. And these days with AI, you can make photos with AI. You can definitely have it stand out. So you got to differentiate. You need to have hooks that match the call to action and that match the pain point that your ad talks about. You don't want to have a different hook compared to a different pain point and then have them go to a landing page or sales page that talks about something different from that. So it's got to be seamless. So there's a lot more to it and there's other factors, but some of those things are really important. And if you just focus even on the few things that I mentioned in today's episode, it could make a difference. Again, no guarantees because there's so many variables. I am not one of those gurus that promises riches or get rich quick or any of that crap. There are no magic buttons, magic bullets, or any of that stuff. But when you focus on your ads and you look at your data and you try and create ads that have clear hooks that are simple and quick to understand, that look like almost not even an ad, and that really align with who your audience is and what you're selling on your landing page or sales page, those are the kinds of things that could make a tremendous difference for some of you guys. And if you do that and it doesn't work, then maybe you need to tweak it a little more, or maybe you need to look at the audience and the targeting or the offer or how fast your page loads. But these are some of the things that I look at first when I look at an ad account. And so many times, I would say over 90%, what I talked about today is messed up and it's not optimized. And sometimes it's a big reason why people fail. And as always, just a reminder, it's always important to point out that every business is unique. Results can vary. There's no guaranteed outcomes. So always keep that in mind. So my friends, I hope that was helpful. If you guys have questions, let me know. philgrahamdigital.com is the website. Episode 449 is in the books. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you on next week's episode. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.